If you want to be great at making dough, you'll need to know a lot about the key ingredient, flour. First, let's talk about what it comes from and how it's made. People have been crushing wheat seeds between stones since as early as 1600 BC. Obviously, technology has evolved over the years, improving both the consistency and the quality of the flour. But in essence, flour is still made the same way by grinding seeds. The type of flour you end up buying is determined by the number of times the kernel of wheat has gone through the sifting process at the mill. When the flour is sifted more often, there will be less ash or bran remaining, producing a whiter color flour. Whiter flours with lower ash are most commonly used for pizza making, as well as for pastries. When the kernel is sifted less often, there will be more ash or bran remaining, resulting in a darker product. When used in baking, this creates a denser crumb because the bran is unable to create gluten. Another parameter to define flours other than sifted grade is the protein percentage, or the W in Italian flours. And remember that the sifted grade does not determine the protein content of the flour. Why is protein content important? It's an indicator of how strong the gluten can be and how well it can hold the carbon dioxide that's produced during the fermentation. A higher protein flour can also absorb more water and hold the longer fermentation process. In other words, the higher the protein, the stronger the gluten. Here's another table to compare the protein percentage. Pizza dough is typically made with flour 10.5% to 15% protein and the W of 170 to 400. Medium and high protein flours are preferred for making pizzas as well as breads because they require higher hydration and higher extensibility. If you're interested in using a pre-ferment, a higher protein flour, it's also a good choice. Here are some other flours you will see in the marketplace. For starters, let's rule out our bromated and bleached flours. As they have additives, they are banned in many countries. How do you know if your flour is bromated or is bleached? This will be labeled on the flour bag. Then there is enriched flour, meaning they simply replace the nutrients lost during the milling process. Most common nutrients that are added to enrich the flours are thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folic acid, iron, which are common nutrients in flour before processing. The amount of any nutrient added to the flour is defined by federal regulations. Finally, malted flour. It's made from barley or wheat and rice that is malted. The benefit of malted flour is that enzymatic activity increases to help break down complex sugars and starch in the dough, making it easier for the yeast to feed on. Malt is mostly used in dough making when making at relatively low temperature. The malt helps with browning, turning the final product into a beautiful golden brown color. There are two kinds of malt, diastatic and non-diastatic. Diastatic is common in malted flour. It's an ingredient added to correct enzyme activity. It's also used as a sweetener. Diastatic also helps the dough color, increases the gluten strength, and improves the volume of texture of the dough. Non-diastatic has no active enzymes, has a sweet flavor, and provides browning, a glossy surface, and a soft crumb. This pizza was made with malted flour, and it's the preferable flour when baking pizzas at medium temperatures like New York, Tavern, or Chicago-style pizza. Malt is not recommended when baking at temperature higher than 650 degrees, such as Neapolitan pizza. I hope this overview has given you a good foundation. If you want more details about flour, be sure to download our flour guide. Continue watching to learn about water, yeast, salt, oils, and fats.